Well, now let's turn to another one and for a totally different kind of bill. I hope everybody learned something there. I know I certainly did because I know absolutely nothing about lighting buildings, as you can tell. But the next one that we have coming up is by Alan Rogers, who owns Fine Creations. And he's got a beautiful church that he's going to be building for us. So, Alan, welcome.
Very much. Appreciate the opportunity to share here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of the church that I'm modeling. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw a picture up here. Can you see that okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is the oldest postcard I could find of St. Mary's in Ocean City, Maryland. According to the research that I did, I believe the parish was settled by largely Irish immigrants, and this building was constructed in 1878. You see there's no bell tower on the corner. So let's see if I can advance to the next picture here. Maybe not. We'll see if I have to. Okay, can you see that now?
Yes.
The church. So now we see that they've added a bell tower on the corner, and this is around 1908. And you notice the Celtic crosses, which reflects the Irish heritage. So this is the era that I modeled with my kit. So as we advance here, this is a picture of the same building in the 60s. You can tell from the cars, there's a 1964 Ford there in the lower right-hand corner. By now, however, the only part of the building that's original is the bell tower, because as the parish has grown, they've expanded the walls outward and they've adjusted the roof line accordingly. So you can see there used to be sort of an inset there directly behind the bell tower, and now there's just a flat wall going the length of the building. So as we advance again, here's another shot, and this is a recent picture. So the church had a remodeling campaign within the last couple of years where they tore down the old rectory and they constructed a parish hall and a bride room and some other stuff they needed. So today the parish is a thriving parish. This looks like a First Communion. And here's a wedding. So that's the history of the parish. So my kit, I have a few 3D printed items. And the first thing I want to show you is this. This is HO scale, by the way. And this is the first HO scale kit that I've constructed in 25 years. So it's a little bit of a challenge. But I 3D printed these. This is part of the bell tower, and there are 4 of these in the kit. And you can see they have a 45-degree miter on the corners, so you can easily join them. So after you glue them together, you're going to get this. And I've already put a few coats of paint on this, and it needs another coat, by the way. But it's good to use a magnetic gluing jig because it keeps everything perfectly square. So the Celtic crosses and one other item are also 3D printed. The walls are laser cut wood, and I personally recommend that you use some primer on that wood, because if you use any sort of a water-based paint, I use acrylic paints almost exclusively, and they will craze the finish of wood. It will cause the grains to stand up, and then you're faced with a sanding project you don't really want. So if you just use a cheap primer on there first, it still might craze a little bit, but it'll dry better. So starting next week, I'll talk to you about the construction techniques, and I can't really think of anything else to share with you tonight. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to entertain those.
Well, I've got one, Alan. You talk about the magnetic jigs that you use.
Yes.
Is that the magnetic table that with the magnets? Is that what you're talking about?
Actually, you can get it from Micromark. It's a square metal plate with sides. It's about 12 square inches, and it's got some really strong magnets included. And I tell you, every project I do, I'm using that thing, whether it's rolling stock or a building.
Gotcha. Well, I'm looking forward to this because I think it's a beautiful model and it's going to be really, really something when you finish it. So thank you so very much. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you so much.